What's up everyone, it's Ben from the Vinyl Jukebox, and last year I had so much fun doing the 2024 vinyl tag that I thought this year I'd make my own. So here we go guys, this is the 2025 hard rock vinyl tag. But before we get started, as always, be sure to leave a like and a comment below this video, subscribe to my channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of my videos. So much like the other vinyl tags that are out there, I put together a list of 20 prompts or questions that are hard rock themed. And hard rock is one of those tricky genres because it kind of bleeds into the metal genre. So some of the bands that I'm going to go through on my list, you may consider metal or you may consider some other variation of those genres. But for our purposes, I think that they're all hard rock based and they may branch into other genres. But just wanted to put out that little disclaimer there. I'm also going to put all the prompts or questions in the description below in case you want to make your own hard rock vinyl tag videos. All right, so starting things off with number one, favorite hard rock vinyl pickup of 2024. I'm going to go with Black Sabbath Anno Domini box set. This is the 1989 through 1995 Tony Martin years of the band. And these albums definitely fell under the radar for a lot of rock fans. A lot of people didn't know they existed or kind of just ignored them at the time. But this is some really great stuff. So we have Headless Cross from 1989 included. We have Tear from 1990. My personal favorite, Cross Purposes from 1994. And Forbidden from 1995. And this is a remix of the original. And I really loved getting this box set. I had a couple of these albums on CD, their original versions. But all these albums had been out of print, not available on streaming before this box set came out. So it was really cool to be able to finally get all of these albums and really give them a good listen, give them a chance. And these albums are certainly underrated and definitely need to be appreciated a little more by rock fans and definitely Black Sabbath fans for sure. All right, next up, number two, 2024 new album from an old artist. And I didn't show this one in my 2024 best albums list, but this is certainly one of my favorites of the year. This is Mark Farner, Closer to My Home. Mark Farner, obviously the Grand Funk Railroad frontman, original frontman. And this is his first solo album in years. It sounds just like Grand Funk. This is like a modern Grand Funk album produced by Mark Slaughter. So it definitely has a little bit of a kick to it. And I think that Mark sounds really great on this album. It's funky, it's rockin', it's everything you'd want it to be from Mark Farner. Very nice comeback. I saw him a few weeks ago and he sounded excellent. I wish he could have played some music from this album, but unfortunately, he was playing the hits, which is what everybody wanted to hear, but me being a nerd, I definitely wanted to hear something from this. So that's 2024 new album from an old artist. Number three, most valuable hard rock album in your collection. I've showed this before on the channel. This is my Led Zeppelin 2 RL copy. Really awesome to be able to find this last year. Found this while digging, found this for an unbelievable price. And this definitely lives up to the hype because I love the mix on this. It definitely has that punch that everybody talks about, that's so legendary about that album. All right, number four, band with two lead guitar players, and I'm going to go with Aerosmith on this one. Brad Whitford and Joe Perry, obviously. Whitford definitely, I think, does fall under the radar a little bit as, I think he's one of the best rock guitarists of all time. He takes on so many leads in Aerosmith songs, plays leads and those amazing riffs on so many of their hits, and definitely goes under the radar. Joe Perry being a little more of a character, being one of the Toxic Twins, definitely gets a lot more notoriety in this band, but I think Brad Whitford should definitely be given a lot more credit and is an essential lead guitar player in this band, Aerosmith. So, and this is my favorite Aerosmith album, Rocks. Definitely a stone cold classic. Next, number five, favorite rock movie soundtrack, and this is probably one of my favorite movies of all time, School of Rock. And what I love about this album is it not only has really cool rock classics on it, Led Zeppelin, Immigrant Song, we have The Darkness, Growing on Me, we have T-Rex, Ballrooms from Mars. So you have some really great songs on here from classic artists, but you also have really great songs from the fictional bands in this movie, No Vacancy, Heal Me, I'm Heartsick. You have School of Rock, that song that opens the movie. You have It's a Long Way to the Top. from the School of Rock band with Jack Black in it. So really cool soundtrack. One of my favorites for sure. I was really happy that they pressed this a few years back, or a couple of years back. Don't really remember when this was pressed. But yeah, definitely one of my favorite movies as well. Next up, Face Melting Guitar Solo, and that would be number 6, Face Melting Guitar Solo. I'm going to go with Ozzy Osbourne, No More Tears, the title track to this album. I love the song. The bass riff is killer, but to be honest, the highlight of the song for me is Zakk Wylde's guitar solo. Whenever I hear it, I'm banging my head, I'm rocking, so bluesy, powerful. Love the solo on this song. I was actually just thinking about it the other day, and that's why it's the first one that came to mind for me. All right, number 7, Show Some Lemmy. Show Some Lemmy. I'm going to show Motorhead live, No Sleep Till Hammersmith, one of my favorite live albums of all time. Motorhead at their best on this one for sure. Number 8, you're riding cross country on a motorcycle. What is your go-to album? What is my go-to album? Well, I'd have to say it would be Velvet Revolver, Contraband, one of my favorite albums of all time. This was a supergroup featuring Matt Sorum / Duff McKagan from Guns N' Roses, but also Scott Weiland on vocals. And this is just a blistering rock album. On any kind of road trip, you put this in, you're cranking it, and every song is an absolute rocker for sure. So Velvet Revolver, Contraband, and this is the new remastered version that came out this year. It features some bonus tracks on it, which were Surrender, No More, No More, the Aerosmith song, Surrender, the Cheap Trick song, Bodies, a cover from the Sex Pistols, Negative Creep, Money from Pink Floyd. So really cool to get this reissued. And, you know, the other version that I had was the Music on Vinyl edition. And, you know, I haven't really A-B'd the pressings. This one was really good. I might go to the, you know, the Music on Vinyl version might be my go-to, but I think I need to spend a little more time with these two and A-B them to see for sure which one I think is the best pressing. All right, next one. Number 9, album that features non-instrument sound effects. So for that one, I'm going to go with Kiss Destroyer. I mean, the album opens up for Detroit Rock City. We got the car revving, we've got the kids talking and everything. We've got the radio sounds. So that would definitely be a non-instrument sound effect. But also thinking about the song God of Thunder, I mean, you're getting those demonic sounds. You're getting, you know, banging and all kinds of crazy noises coming from that. So this was definitely the first one I could think of when I thought of non-instrument sound effects in a song for sure. All right, band that's an acquired taste, and the people who are going to you know, be a little skeptical of and I'm sure people are going to say that this is a metal record, which it is, but I'm going to put it in the hard rock category. This would definitely be Korn, an acquired taste. I didn't like this band at first when I first heard them. You know, their stuff from the 90s, but they definitely grew on me for sure. This is the Nothing, 2 albums ago from them. I thought this was a really great album for them, produced by Nick Raskulinecz. It had the song You'll Never Find Me on it. I saw them on this tour. They were awesome. So I'm going to go with Korn for that one. Definitely a acquired taste, both in the vocals and the sound, very muddy bass sound. But, you know, I would say if you're on the fence about Korn, see them live. They are one of the best live bands that I've ever seen for sure. All right, number 11, Stadium Anthem. And when I think Stadium Anthem, the first song that comes to mind, and maybe because this is one of my favorite bands, but Guns N' Roses, Paradise City. You know, I've seen this in stadiums. I've heard this played at all kinds of sporting events and stadiums. I think this is one of the ultimate stadium rock songs, Paradise City, Guns N' Roses. This is the 7-inch single from the Appetite for Destruction box set. So really cool stuff. All right, next up, number 12, Iron Maiden or Judas Priest. And I'm sure people are going to yell at me in the comments for this, but I have to go with my gut here, and that would be Judas Priest. Judas Priest has always had You know, I've always liked the vocals better in Judas Priest. I've liked the guitar playing better in Judas Priest. I've liked just their overall sound. I like how they could go from a hard rock to a metal kind of sound. I like their new music a lot better than I like Iron Maiden's new music. With Iron Maiden, I tend to go back to the earlier stuff. The first two albums, the self-titled and the Killers album, are two of my favorites. Bruce Dickinson's vocals, I don't know, just don't always do it for me. I do like some of his stuff, but it doesn't always do it for me. Judas Priest is definitely my go-to, though. All right, next up, number 13, show 5 hard rock singles. Okay, so first up, Guns N' Roses, Welcome to the Jungle. Have to put Guns N' Roses in there. Next, Buckcherry, Lit Up. I love this single because it includes a song that was not on the album, Late Nights in Voodoo. Next up, AC/DC, Rock and Roll Train, Still Sealed from the Black Ice album, includes War Machine on the B-side. Heaven and Hell, Vinyl, Bible Black. I would still love to get a copy of Heaven and Hell's album, The Devil You Know. Obviously, Black Sabbath with Ronnie James Dio, but changed their name for that album. And Skid Row, 18 in Life, with Midnight Tornado on the B-side. All right, next up, number 14, an album that rocks from start to finish. Could have chosen a lot of different albums for this one, but I'm going to go with Buckcherry's 15. This one was basically my college soundtrack. I love this album through and through. You know, not only the hits like Sorry and Crazy Bitch, but So Far, Next to You, Out of Line, Brooklyn, Broken Glass, Onset. You know, I could sing along to every single one of these songs. This is just a rocker from start to finish, in my opinion. Even the ballads on this album are rockers, in my opinion. Have me, you know, pumping my fist in the air to them. You know, I got to see them on the, I believe it was the 15th anniversary or 10th or 15th anniversary of this album coming out. They did a tour and played the album in its entirety, and that was just amazing. I love that show. It was on my birthday too, which was just incredible. But yeah, Buckcherry 15. Number 15, an artist that you would want to have a beer with. Now, again, this one actually was more difficult than I thought it would have been, because I didn't want to pick artists that are clean and sober now. I wanted to pick an artist that I could have a beer with right now. And I don't believe this artist is clean and sober, but if he is, let me know in the comments below. I chose David Lee Roth. And I chose David Lee Roth because I think he is so wacky, and I think he has so many stories and just a very interesting outlook on life that it would be the craziest beer that I've ever had with somebody. So definitely David Lee Roth for that one. Next up, number 16, best bass playing on a hard rock record. I have to go with, on this one, the Winery Dogs, Hot Streak. Billy Sheehan is just a monster, absolute monster on the bass. If you haven't heard his bass playing, it is just incredible what he can do. He basically plays like Eddie Van Halen, but on the bass. He's tapping, he's doing all kinds of crazy stuff, just shredding bass playing. And especially on this album, Hot Streak, he really shines. I'm hoping the Winery Dogs can keep doing stuff. I know Mike Portnoy just went back to Dream Theater, so that might be a little difficult, but Billy Sheehan, definitely one of the craziest bass players you've ever heard. Next up, number 17, band you wish you had seen but can't. So I'm going to go with Soundgarden on this one. I never got to see Soundgarden. I never got to see Chris Cornell. I had an opportunity on Soundgarden's last tour. They were playing in New York City, and I could have gotten tickets for a pretty affordable price to see them. And for some reason I said, nah, you know what, I'll see them the next time. And unfortunately, there was no next time. That was the last tour. Chris Cornell passed while he took his own life while they were on that tour, and you know, the rest is history. So really wish I could have seen Soundgarden. Would have loved to have seen them, and you know, I don't even think any kind of reunion with a different singer would make up for that. I don't, you know, that's not going to do it for me. So Soundgarden, definitely my number one on that end. Number 18, hard rock record from a new artist. So I'm going to show for this one Rival Sons. This is Dark Fighter. Came out a couple years ago. This was on my top albums of 2023 list. This is just a rocker of an album. I saw them the night that this album came out, and these songs went across so well live. I think that this band is amazing. I guess I wouldn't exactly call them a newer artist because they've been around for maybe 10, 11 years. But, you know, I still consider them new because they're a much smaller artist. And you know, I think they just started getting a lot bigger in the rock community pretty recently. So my pick for that, Rival Sons, Dark Fighter. And if you like hard rock with fuzzy guitar, you know, powerful vocals, you know, check this band out. They are just phenomenal. Next up, number 19, most wanted hard rock record. That would be Guns N' Roses live era, 87 to 93. I would love to have this on vinyl. The vinyl prices are insane for this album. There was a bootleg that went around a few years ago. I wish I had picked that up because now that's going up there in price too. But I'd really love for this one to be at least reissued, or to get an original copy would be even better. But I'd even take a reissue of this album. I think it's a great live album, even though a lot of it's not live. A lot of it was redone in the studio. I heard all the vocals were redone in the studio. But, you know, this is one of those holes in my Guns N' Roses vinyl collection that I'd really love to fill. So I'd love if that came out again, for sure. And lastly, favorite hard rock focused VC channel, and I'd like to give a shout out to channel 33 RPM. Frank does an awesome job showcasing not only vinyl collecting but hard rock music. That was kind of the channel that got me into watching VC videos. And I still watch Frank's videos every time a video comes out. I love his content, love his channel, and you know, just think it's incredible. And I have to thank him definitely for getting me into this, getting me watching these videos, and eventually making my own videos. So I kind of owe it all to Frank for sure. There you have it, everybody. That's my hard rock vinyl tag for 2025. And let me know in the comments below, what do you think of all my picks? What would you have picked differently? And definitely try to make your own hard rock vinyl tag videos. I'm going to put my prompts and questions in the description below, so you have it there. And definitely be sure to tag me in the description on your video so I could check out your picks as well. Before I go, everybody, please be sure to leave a like and a comment below this video. Subscribe to my channel, turn on notifications, share the video, all that good stuff. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'll see you next time.